Let me start again. Ranked has a new structure. So you've got the idea of the old ranked and you've got ranked sprint, and those two things have kind of been merged together. So you've got this idea of having lots and lots and lots of ranks, lots and lots and lots of stars. You need to get lots and lots of wins over a very long period of time, say 6 weeks. And then you've got the idea of a sprint, which lasts for, say, a week or 2 weeks, where you've got a small number of stars, small number of wins that you need to reach a short goal. So those two ideas have been amalgamated. And so now what you end up with is this structure. Let's find a good picture here. Of course, they haven't put a diagram. Oh, there we go. So you've got this 3-league structure now. And so the season will last for, in this case, 6 weeks, although they've said that's going to vary. With each sprint, in this case, lasting for 1 week. That can also vary. So you could end up, for example, with a 4-sprint season with the sprints lasting for 2 weeks. But this one, they're doing 6 sprints of 1 week each, so the season lasts for 6 weeks. So at the beginning of each season, but I'm going to be talking specifically about this season. So when I'm talking about numbers, I'm talking about this specific season. So the numbers of sprints, the number of weeks, that can all change. So this one, there's going to be 6 weeks. So you start week number 1. Everyone starts in Bronze League. So you start basically here, and everyone's going to be in the same boat, excuse the pun. And everyone goes through to rank 1 of the Bronze League and qualification to get up to Silver League. During the first sprint, which is 1 week, you can't get to Silver League. You can only qualify. So you go through, just like an old sprint, you go through and you get 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure whether there's going to be free stars. On PTS there was free stars. So this might be 1, 2, 3. You get that one for free. 4, you get that one for free. 5, get that one for free. 6, it's probably 7 wins. It could be 9 if you don't get the free stars. So something like that, between 7 and 10, something like that. To get to rank 1. Rank 1 is irrevocable. Just getting to rank 1 is not enough to go up to Silver League. You will also then have to win 4 matches to get into Silver League. So you're talking about something in the order of about 12 games, 12 wins to get up to Silver League. But of course you've got these irrevocable ranks here, and so that makes it pretty easy, especially for the Bronze League, which has lots of irrevocables, to go through here pretty quickly. So qualifying for Silver should not be that difficult. Then once you've done that, so let's say it starts on, so for us it starts on Tuesday. So let's say that by Friday you've done this. That means you can't then play anymore. So you've got to rank 1, you've qualified, you can't do ranked anymore. It's closed to you until the next Tuesday, the next day 1, effectively, of the next week, when Silver League starts. Sorry, when the next sprint starts and you start in Silver League. People who didn't qualify for Silver League, or people who didn't play in the first week, will still obviously be back down in Bronze League. So if you got up to rank 1 but you didn't qualify, or you didn't get to rank 1, so let's say you got to rank 4, when week 2 starts, you reset back down to the beginning of the league that you were in. So if you were in Bronze, you reset down to Bronze. If you got to Silver 4, you reset back down to the beginning of Silver. So week 2 starts, and you start, if you qualified, you start at the beginning of Silver League. And then same thing, for that week, you go through and you try to get up to rank 1 and qualify, if you want to. We'll come back to that in a second. So if you qualify for gold by the end of that week, then when week 3 starts, you'll start at the beginning of Gold League, and then you go through and you can rank out in gold. Obviously there's no qualification at the top of this because that's the end. However, that doesn't mean that you finished ranked, because in week 4 you'll go back down to the beginning of gold and you do it again, and then week 5 you go back to the beginning of gold and you do it again, and then week 6 it goes back down to the beginning of gold and you do it again. So you can go through to rank 1 6 times in whichever league it is that you've got to. It is not possible to drop down from gold to silver to bronze. So each week you're playing within one league, so you can't go up and you can't go down within a week. You can never go down, so if you achieve silver, that's it, you're in silver for the rest of the season. If you achieve gold, you're in gold for the rest of the season, because you only ever drop down to the beginning of the league which you are currently in. Okay, and you can't go down, but you can go up. So, qualification. There might be reasons, and we'll look at the rewards in a second, but there might be reasons why, and this is something Painsword just mentioned earlier, sandbagging. So there might be reasons why you might want to not qualify. Obviously, to get the maximum number of rewards out of this, you do need to get up into Golden League in the beginning of week 3. So you need to go through Bronze in 1 week, Silver in 1 week, and then start playing Gold, and then play Gold for 4 weeks. That's going to give you the maximum number of rewards, because the best rewards are obviously going to be in the top league. But there are rewards in Bronze and Silver. So let me just come down here slightly. So these are the rewards. So in Bronze League, you can get up to 400 steel, 200 doubloons, and 1,000 coal. And some camouflages and blah. In Silver League, you can get up to 500 steel, 300 doubloons, and 3,000 coal. And then in Gold, you can get 600 steel. This is per sprint, per week. 600 steel, 400 doubloons, and 5,000 coal. Okay? So, let's say that you are an entirely average player and that you would find Silver and Gold quite difficult. Maybe you're a less than average player in terms of skill level. So, it might actually be better for you to stay in Bronze, because then the matches are going to be easier, because after week 1, obviously the skilled players are going to go through to Silver, leaving a less skillful player, which is going to make it easier for you, because the average skill level in the matchmaking pool for your league determines how easy or hard you're going to find the games. Okay? So if you're in that first group to get up to Gold, for example, in week 3, you're going to be with the best players on the server. So that's going to be pretty tough matchmaking. And then week 4, 5, and 6 will get progressively easier as more players make it up into Gold. And the same thing, Bronze is going to get easier and easier and easier, because the skillful players are leaving and going up to the higher leagues. And so it's going to probably take a little while. It's going to take a few seasons probably for people to figure out where their kind of skill level sits. Because let's just imagine for a second that you are a terrible player. But you actually, because of all the irrevocable ranks, you actually managed to get up to Silver. Just dumb luck, you managed to get up to Silver. But then in Silver, there's fewer irrevocable ranks, right? So you have to get one. Let's assume there's no free stars. You have to get 1, 2, 3 wins to get to there. You have to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 wins, potentially, to get to rank 1 in Silver. Okay. 8 straight wins in Silver might be beyond some people. And then this, in Gold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 wins straight. Potentially is going to be that's going to be tough. If you get through to here by luck, which you could easily do. So the problem is, in order to be able to get the rewards, you have to get the wins, right? So you've got 3 wins gets you 100 steel. So this is Gold. 3 wins gets you 100 steel. 6 wins gets you 100 steel. 9 wins gets you 100 steel. 12 wins gets you 100 steel. And then there's some doubloons. And then finally, just for ranking out, you get 200 steel and some coal and a rank token. And so your rewards are basically based on mostly just getting the stars. It's not necessarily on reaching rank 1. It's doing the in-between stuff. And so if you go up too quickly for your skill level, you're basically going to be stuck, because you're gonna get to Gold League, say, and you're not going to be able to win, because you're just going to keep losing and losing and losing and losing, because you're weaker than the pool. And so it might actually be more lucrative for a weaker player to stay in Bronze, because then they can definitely get the wins. And what you do is you get to rank 1, and this is the sandbagging part. You get to rank 1, and then you don't go through qualification, you just stop playing. And then in week 2, you'll go back down to the beginning of bronze, and then you can play through bronze again. And so then you can get these rewards again, 100, 100, 100, 100. You can get them again. And they can do it the following week, 100, 100, and so on, without having to go up here. Okay? So there's a decision to make there. Do you want to make life hard for yourself, but potentially get better rewards? Or do you want to make life easy for yourself and get essentially guaranteed rewards? That's a decision that everyone is going to have to make. I'd imagine the majority of players will probably try to get to Gold League. I'd imagine that quite a few of those players will probably then regret it. Particularly as you have to rank out not once in a season like normal, but 4 times. Because there are 6 weeks, so you're going rank 1, rank 1, rank 1, and then don't forget week 4, this is going to reset down to here, rank 1, week 5, rank 1, week 6, rank 1, if you want all the rewards. So you have to rank out, in terms of getting to the top of Gold League, 4 times if you want all the rewards. Because every week the rewards reset. And so the maximum number of rewards you can get in this table here is 1 of this, 1 of this, and then 4 of this bottom row. So if you add up everything in this table, times 1, times 1, times 4, that's what you can get. Okay? Yes, Dutch. So after the season ends, so the 6-week season ends, so we'll call this new ranked season 1, 6 weeks, 6 sprints, 3 leagues. Season 2 starts, possibly with a different format. So in season 2, there might be 2-week sprints, and there might only be 4 of them. Or there might be 8 one-week sprints. Or there might be 7 one-week sprints and 1 3-week sprint. But we don't know what they're going to look like, and they've said it might change. Presumably as a result of this testing. But the next season, yes, you start again. Just like normal ranked, but there's no seeding. So in the old rank system, if you got to a certain rank, you started not at the beginning. So I think if you ranked out, you started at rank 10, I think, something like that. You don't get that anymore. So everyone starts at the beginning of Bronze League. And so in the first week, what that means is that the matchmaking pool for Bronze League is everyone, because there's no one in Silver and there's no one in Gold. The matchmaking for week 2 is going to be some people in Bronze and some people in Silver, no one in Gold. Week 3, suddenly you've got people in Gold. And so week 3 of Gold is going to be a nightmare, because that's going to be all the best players. Get Bronze first week, get carried by 007. Oh, and then there's these new camouflages, which show sort of flat color, bronze, silver, gold. They give 100% XP, 200% XP for the free XP for the bronze, 100, 200, 100 for the silver, 150, 200, 100 for the gold, and these are consumable camos. And so you can get. So if you went easy mode and you went Bronze League 6 times, you can get 30 of the bronze camos. I can't be bothered to add all that up. You can do it yourself. If they had a copper toilet rank. So yeah, there's a couple of things we don't know. One is, how long is the gap going to be between each sprint? I'd imagine it's just going to be overnight. So basically, the week ends, so our week in EU is going to start on Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. UTC on Tuesday, ranked starts. And it goes through, I assume, until 1 a.m. the next Tuesday. Then it resets, and then 8 a.m. the next week starts. I'm assuming that's how it's going to work. But we don't know. It doesn't actually say what the gap is going to be. There might be a 24-hour gap or something. The other thing we don't know is how long is it going to be between the seasons. It could be that the next season starts almost immediately. And this is the fear that I think a lot of people had in terms of continuous ranked. Is it going to be that literally, the season 1 ends on Monday and season 2 starts on Tuesday, and then you just carry on going? I don't think it's going to be like that. I think they'll leave a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, whatever weeks between them. But it's certainly going to be more continuous than it used to be. Okay. Is there star saving? On PTS, there was star saving, yes. There were also free stars on PTS to a certain point. So the first time that you get to a rank, you get a free star. And that was certainly the case in Ranked, and it's certainly the case on PTS when we tested this. That's not true the second time you go through. So if you get to like 4-2 or like 4-1 and then you drop down to 5 and then you try and go back up again, the second time you don't get the free star. Okay. The tiers are going to be 8, 9, and 10. So bronze is going to be tier 8, silver is going to be 9 and 10, and then gold is going to be tier 10. So you'll have that mixed thing that I showed in PTS, where when you play Silver League, you can choose whether you want to go tier 9 or tier 10. Don't forget, though, that there's an XP bonus, obviously, for being the lower tier and shooting higher tier stuff. And so actually a tier 9 is not a bad call, because obviously this is XP based in terms of saving stars. And so playing a tier 9 might actually not be a bad idea. Sure, what else we need to do? This is the map pool. I mean, it's standard kind of maps that you would expect. Mixed tier games, yes, mixed tier games. So if you queue up for tier for silver, there will be tier 9 and 10 ships. I would imagine most people will be bringing tier 10, because in their mind tier 10 is better, but actually in terms of XP, tier 9 is better. So I'd encourage you to think about that. But yes, there will be mixed tier battles, yes, indeed. The other thing that's important to understand is that when you go for qualification, so you will be playing with people from the next league, potentially. So apart from week 1, where there is no one in the Silver League, so let's say this is week 6 and you're still in bronze. No, bad example. Week 5. Let's say you're in week 5 and you're going for qualification for silver for week 6. You will be playing in a pool which is of Silver League. And qualification will be done at tier 9, because it's tier 9 matchmaking. Sorry, the Silver League matchmaking. So when you go for qualification, essentially qualification is the next league up, right? So you're playing in bronze, you're in bronze, but you're playing in silver to get there. That's how it works. So think of this as actually being at the beginning of this, rather than at the end of this. Do you see? Well, principally, I mean, someone might very well intentionally stick to bronze or silver, because, as I explained at the beginning, that might be the best way to earn the rewards for that person. Because if you get up to gold and you can't hack it, there's no way that you're going to get the rewards. Because unlike the normal ranked ladder, where everyone's kind of mixed in together, sort of, you might find it a bit harder to progress. It is essentially the same. I mean, if you think about the old ranked ladder, there were leagues in that. They weren't really obvious, but there were matchmaking sections. And so tier 5 to 2 was a matchmaking section. Tier 10 to 6 was a matchmaking section. And tier 11 and below was a matchmaking section. And that's essentially what this is, bronze, silver, and gold. It just wasn't called that. And they didn't really pay attention to the fact that that was there. And of course, you could go all the way through it in one day, potentially. But this time they've put sort of time limits on the edges. But it's essentially the same as it used to be. It's just more obviously divided into 3 sections. And something that you will have noticed if you did the old rank system, was that when you jumped up those groups, when you went from 11 to 10, and when you went from 6 to 5, the matchmaking suddenly got a lot more difficult, because your skill level is suddenly a lot lower compared to the average skill level. Because you're jumping up between the matchmaking groups. This is going to feel the same. When you finish playing Bronze League in week 1, you're like, oh, that was that was easy. And you jump up to Silver League, you're like, ooh, this is a bit trickier. And then week 3, you get to Gold League, you're like, eee. I'm here with all of the really good competitive players and some of the top players in the game, and suddenly I can't win anymore. And that, by the way, is not the teams, that is you, because it's you that's changing. But the same thing's going to apply where, like a normal rank season, people are bubbling up through the ranks, and people are bubbling up through rank 1 and leaving the pool. And so as each sprint goes on, the pool is going to get easier, and as the season goes on, each league is going to get easier as time goes on. So just bear that in mind. Just because on day 1 you're finding a league difficult doesn't mean it's going to feel like that on day 6, because by day 6 a lot of the most skillful players have already left because they've already got to rank 1. Okay. But just bear in mind, if you want the maximum, if you want to try for the maximum rewards, A, it's going to be very hard. B, you need to make sure you reach rank 1 every week and qualify. Because you need to go bronze, silver, gold, 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 gold to get the maximum rewards. Does that make sense? Are there any questions? Mm, 7v7 pool. It's kind of a difficult question to answer, Roy, because if it was like it was on PTS, you get a free star the first time you get to a rank. And so if you were on a really lucky streak, you get your first win at 10. That's going to get you a free star at tier 9. So that means you only need 1 win to jump up these double ones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be 2 wins. 7, 8. This will be 2 wins. 9, 10. And that will be enough. So with the, if it has free stars, not 100% because I didn't see Gold League on PTS. If it has free stars, that's 10 wins. If it doesn't have free stars, it's just as many stars as there are down here, which is going to be like 15, 16, something like that. But if it does have free stars and you lose a game and you drop down, you don't get the free star again. So if it works like it used to do. So if you go from 7, you got 7-1, and you drop down to 8-2 or 8-1, when you get your 8-2, which is the same as 7-0, it will be 7-0 and not 7-1, because the second time you don't get the free star. So it's a very difficult question to answer because it depends on how many times you lose. If I reach silver and fail to reach rank 1, do I get knocked down to bronze? No, you cannot. You need to go back and watch the whole thing, Roy. I explained this at the beginning. So you cannot drop down a league. It is impossible to ever drop down a league until the next season begins, when everyone goes back down to bronze. So wherever you end in a league, if you don't qualify, you start the next week on the beginning. Okay? But you have to qualify if you want to go up. And then you don't go up until the next week. So on day 1 of bronze, if you go ding and qualify, that's it. Ranked is closed to you for the next 6 days. You believe in total it has fewer stars than traditional rank? That wouldn't surprise me, because there's going to be more of it. I assume that the seasons are going to be more frequent. So, because the rewards are lower, right? So the total number of steel you can get from this is 1 times this, 1 times this, and 4 times this. And that adds up to 3,300 steel, maximum. What was the old steel reward? Was it 4,800? Something like that? So you're getting more than 1,000 steel less. So 3,300 compared to minus bonuses. But was it 10,000 for ranked? Was it really? 10k? No. Was it 10? I thought it was 4,800. Never having ranked out, I don't know. 5-5. We're going to get like 10 million different answers now. No one knows. Okay. So, but anyway, it's definitely less than it used to be. 5.5. Okay. So, 3,300 versus 5.5 is almost half. So, I'm expecting there to be more frequent seasons. Otherwise, they've basically cut the amount of steel coming out of ranked in half. In terms of like steel per time or steel potential per time. Yes, Looker. The quickest you can get to gold is week 3, yeah. And then you spend 4 weeks in gold. The number of wins needed to achieve all the rewards in a league, since you won less than the total number of stars, makes me think you do not get free stars for each rank. You certainly did on PTS. That would make sense, though. But on PTS, there were definitely free stars, because it's one of the things that I look for. It could be that they've decided to change that. So it could be that there aren't any free stars. That is entirely possible. So be prepared that the worst case scenario is that you need to earn every single one of these stars. And so that means that for this, it's going to be, I'm assuming you start on 10-0, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And you need 18 wins plus 1. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, so I would expect no free stars. So that's... yeah. The rewards are less. Yeah, well, they are, but the season's also potentially going to come more frequently. So don't just think, oh, well, the seasons are less now. Yeah, but there might be more seasons. Because we only used to get, what, 3, 4 seasons a year? So we might now get 6 seasons a year, 8 seasons a year, because this is going to be more of a continuous thing. They haven't said more seasons, but they kind of imply more seasons, because they haven't said how long it's going to be between the seasons. 50 seasons a year. I think it's highly likely. I think what you might see is that because this is a test season, that the gap between this one and the next one might be longer than it would normally be. They might be intending to have them fairly continuously. But it's going to take them a little while to assess the data coming out of this test season so that they can set it up how they want it with the right balance of time and stars and rewards and whatever. Yes, so you keep saying, Andrew, I've read that, thank you. Steel refreshed each week, keep in mind you don't get more. Steel refreshed each week, keep in mind you don't even need more seasons for rewards to be greater. Yeah, you do. Because it's only refreshed while there's a season active. So you literally do, because if they run, because like a normal ranked season an old ranked season was 6 weeks, and this is 6 weeks, and it's less steel. And so if they run ranked the same frequency they used to do, it is definitely less steel. And so in order to get the same amount of steel out of it, they need to nearly double the amount of time per year that ranked is running. It needs to go up to, I haven't worked it out, but it needs to go up considerably. So if we used to have 4 seasons a year, now we're going to need to have 7 seasons a year. Yes, it refreshes each sprint. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you don't get all this each sprint. You can only get one of these rows each sprint, depending on where you are. As I said, the maximum amount of steel that you can get out if you do bronze, silver, gold, 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 gold in 6 weeks is 3,300. That is fewer, that is less steel. The number of stars is irrelevant because you don't have an opportunity to do more stars. Like the gold per star is irrelevant because you don't have the opportunity to earn more than 3,300. Thank you, Camo. So, yeah, 5,500. So it's considerably less steel. So I'm assuming that they're going to increase the amount of time that ranked is running during a year. Otherwise, it's less steel. And then Reddit will explode. Most of the rewards are based on the number of wins, yeah. Which is interesting, because it means that if you, like... So, for example, I wonder... That's interesting. So So it's 200 steel for rank 1. Now, so does this mean... So if I get a win, so let's say I'm really lucky, I'm a crap player, I'm really lucky and I managed to get to gold in the week 3 just by sheer luck. If I sit here at rank 10 and just keep pressing battle, but I'm a terrible player, and so quite regularly I'm causing my team to lose. But every now and again I get carried or just have a good game. And so every now and again I pop up to rank 9 before I get knocked back down to 10. So I go like win, loss, 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 win, loss, 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 win. That's 3 wins, right? So that means I get 100 steel. The question is, does it work like that? Can I just sit there and go battle, 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 and keep popping up to this rank and accruing 1 win? Because if that's how it works, then sandbagging is stupid. Unless you're really, really bad and you're going to be getting like a 10% win rate or something. If your win rate is even vaguely close to 50 within the league, because of course your normal win rate is completely irrelevant. If your gold league win rate is close-ish to 50, then you may as well get to gold league and just sit here going loss, 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 win, loss, loss, win, loss, 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 win, loss, loss, win, loss, and just staying here. Because then you'll get almost all of this row eventually. You just won't get this stuff. And these rewards... 1, 2... Oh, hang on. 100... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... They've already thought about this. Oh, no, have they? 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3... So you're actually better off... In terms of steel, it doesn't matter whether you sit at the bottom of silver or the bottom of gold, because it's still 4,000. You just need 1 more win to get this 4,000. But if you do it in Gold League, you can also get 400 doubloons, which is not that much. But you can also get some gold camos as well. So if you care about a little bit of doubloons and a few camos, do it in gold. If you don't care about this stuff, if you don't care about getting to rank 1, and you don't care about these 400 doubloons and these camos, go through bronze in week 1, go dunk, bink, get up to silver, and then just sit at the bottom of silver. Because that's going to be the easiest way to do this in terms of maximizing the amount of steel that you get. Because you're never going to get that, and you're never going to get that. Probably, this is like worst case scenario if you're a really, really bad player. Obviously, if you're a great player, then just rank out. Just rank out. So it's interesting, but we're not really going to know how this is going to work until we actually start doing it. But it's kind of interesting to think about strategies for maximizing your personal outcome. We're all amazing players. Like, everyone is an above average driver. Yeah, it's interesting. Right, that's ranked. Any more questions before I move off of ranked? Exactly, Gardo. That's what I was thinking. I think for most players, that might be the best balance of time versus reward. And stress versus reward as well. If you're the kind of person that normally stops... I think you can talk about this in terms of old ranked, right? So if you were the kind of person that normally stopped at rank 10, you're probably better off just sticking around in bronze. If you were the kind of person like me that got up to like 5 to 3-ish without too much trouble, then you might be better off doing that up to silver in week 2, and then just bobble around in silver and don't qualify. Because you can get, even without getting to rank 1 in silver, you can get almost the same amount of steel.
Much obliged.
As you would bobbling around at the beginning of gold, but you're going to have a better time, probably. And you're going to have more chance of getting to rank 1. Whereas if you go into gold, you're never going to get to rank 1. And your win rate is going to be, critically, your win rate will be lower, because it's not your normal random battles win rate, because you're not playing against the same pool of players, you're playing against a better pool of players. And so your win rate will be lower, which means it takes you longer to achieve these wins. Because your win rate in here might be 35, your win rate in here might be 45. But no, Roy, you've got a good point. Because this is, I really like this for the normal player. Like the non-super unicum, COTS, blah, blah, blah. Because it means that everyone has a chance to earn some steel. A decent amount of steel. Like, decent, like, you know, a little bit of steel. Because someone bumbling around in Bronze League, as long as they keep getting wins every now and again, it doesn't matter if they're sat on rank 7. Well, okay. It doesn't matter if they're sat between 5 and 4, which is where you can get stuck because there's no irrevocable. It doesn't matter if they've got like a 2% win rate. If they play enough matches, eventually they will get enough wins to get this steel. This 300 here. And they can do that 6 times. So they can, so like a really, 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 really bad player is going to get 6 times 300 steel. Just by pressing battle and occasionally randomly winning. Some of your clanmates that don't have tier 9s or 10s can go through bronze. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So even new players can participate in bronze. Why 6 times? Because there are 6 1-week sprints, Raxus. Go back. I'm going to export that. I've effectively stopped recording now, but I'm going to export that entire section of me talking about it to YouTube, so that if anyone wants to go back and actually kind of like think about it with a wet towel on their head, they can. There's 6 sprints, 3 leagues, 6 weeks, 6 sprints, and you can go through 1 league per week. If you rank out and you qualify, you go up to the next league. You cannot drop down a league, and if you don't qualify, you go back down to the beginning of the league that you were in, but you can't go downwards. You can only go upwards in the leagues.